Si necesita servicios de traducción.
Tonight is our 8th grade parent night. It's an opportunity for us to welcome incoming parents and students that are coming to our school who are looking at our school to be one of their choices. We feel like we have tremendous offerings, a powerful curriculum, great athletics, wonderful arts, and a great staff and teachers. So I know they're going to greatly enjoy this evening.
So I'm just going to kind of go through what these kind of things are. But since we're short on time, I'll just start right now so that you hear everything. Very first thing, what is our role as a teacher here at the high school? It's super important that we are providing your children with great instruction. So you'll notice we're doing the same curriculum as Cunha. So if you are a Cunha student, you're going to continue with the CPM books, which is really nice. It's Common Core, it's rigor, it's getting them to communicate and think about math. And we're noticing they're excited about it, they're comfortable with it, they're communicating well with each other. And the nice thing about that is it's sticking in their brain because of the application of the mathematics. So we're seeing very positive things with the students coming up from Cunha as well. And so they will be doing Cornell notes, they'll be using their summaries to help reiterate what they've learned through the week and use that also on their homework as well.
We focus on world geography. We take a continent by continent approach to traveling around the globe. Some of the course is an anthropomorphic course in the sense that we get an understanding of how people live in different places. And another part of the course is focusing on understanding world geography. It is a really interactive and enjoyable class in the second semester as well as in the first semester, where students are constantly working on their skills in technology as well. We implement Google Docs, Google Slides, and spreadsheets throughout the class. In my class, I'm just learning to use Google Classroom to make it a little bit more easy and transparent for students to submit work.
Overview. AP Human Geography provides students with knowledge and skills that will better their understanding of geography by using geographic processes to study and understand patterns in their community, the nation, and the world. We focus on issues related to population, culture, politics, economics, agriculture, and the environment from a globalized world perspective. It's a little bit different than the class Mr. Roth teaches, and I also do as well, where we kind of, in normal geography, look at things from a continental approach, one continent at a time, and we look at it anthropomorphically. I love that word, thank you. But in this class, we're looking at how the world is just so interconnected, how we live in this globalized community where the economics in one country affects the other, where agriculture in one place affects the other, and how we kind of live in this global community and how everything is so interrelated. And it really plays into a lot of current events and issues that are going on right now.
We have a pathway where if you're in the immersion program, you can you will either go into the Spanish speakers program, or you could actually go into AP4, well, I'm down here. And there is a placement exam for that. And that's just to make sure that though we want to challenge our students, we do want them to be successful, and we don't want to put them in a class that is beyond their capabilities. Generally, the AP classes with 4 and 5 are meant for juniors and seniors, not so much freshmen and sophomore. That doesn't mean that they can't enter, but it is highly recommended that they don't, because these classes require a higher level thinking, more mature approach to the language.
I do explain what all of them are. There's La Galette des Rois, where the kings are supposed to have arrived at the stable, and we make a king's cake, and whoever gets the favor gets to be king or queen for the day. And it's just a lot of fun. We don't, it's not serious religion stuff, but it is French tradition. We make crepes on le jour de la Chandeleur, which is Epiphany, and I explain a little bit about what that is. We also have projects such as all the different countries where they speak French, where they will present their country and what specialties, food specialties, any cultural events that are important.
And I want to let you know that Mr. Nazar, Ms. Zamet, and Mr. Barnes have changed the dynamic at this high school in such a positive way. I just can't tell you how happy the teachers are to come to work here. It's a really positive environment. We do not just myself, but I think we all feel like we're firing on all cylinders. There's another exciting change that we're looking at for next year, and that's that we're going to be moving to a block scheduling. Right? So right now, the kids are meeting all their classes for 56 minutes a day. Next year, they'll meet all their classes on Monday for an abbreviated period of time, about 50 minutes. And then on Tuesday, they'll meet the first 3 classes, and on Wednesday, the next 3, and then on Thursday, the first 3, and then on Friday, the second 3. So we're going to have 85-minute classes. And it's an exciting change for us. It's definitely going to change the way we teach. But in a class like an art studio, it's going to be a really positive change, right? Less time. There's 5 minutes of cleanup and setup every day. We're going to get rid of this and only clean up and set up 3 times a week.
So freshmen start in 1 of 2 classes, mostly based on math and English language arts grades in middle school 8th grade. So if they're coming here starting in Algebra 1, they start in Earth Science. If they are coming to the high school as a geometry student freshman year, they choose between Earth Science or Biology. We do require 3 years, recommend 4 years of science for graduation, depending on what pathway they would like to do after high school. 4 might be more of what they need. The first 3 or 2, depending where they start. So Earth Science, Biology, and Chemistry are taken in sequence. So we need to take those in that particular order. After that, the 4 classes that you see below there are open to their choice. And we have a number of students that then choose their junior and or senior year to take multiple science classes at the same time. So I have students right now that are in my AP Bio class that are also taking Mr. Santoni's AP Environmental Science class.
So I started leadership my sophomore year. At first, I didn't know what to do. I was like the quiet one sitting right there with her. We didn't know what to do. We got involved into birthdays. That was like the big thing at then. And then once junior year came along, like we learned so much during that sophomore year. So we started getting into new committees. We did homecoming court. One of the hardest things to do during homecoming because you basically need to find limo. You need to find everything, where they need to eat, where they're gonna go, and it was really, really hard. And so from that junior year, like I learned a lot. Now I was head of that outstanding population, and it was much easier for me than what it was my sophomore year being in birthdays. I thought that my life was a good change, and once I joined that class, it made a big change in me, and I've been learning a lot. I get involved into the community now more than what I used to do when I was a freshman.
So the students will write informative expository text conveying information in an effective way. There's no argument to it, but really the goal there is how can you get a student to convey fact-based information effectively so that a reader who is not educated about that particular subject becomes educated about it. And lastly, to write narratives that students tell the stories of their life, and that could be autobiography or biography, much less so on the creative writing element, although I know some of my colleagues can help themselves and provide some creative fine arts opportunities, although they're not in the Common Core state standard. Still, we see it as writing narratives, so we apply it. And so, what's wrong with reading standards? Students will read literature and nonfiction text. They don't read less literature, although it might seem that way if you study the Common Core a bit, that they read less literature than they did perhaps when they were in elementary school. But in a secondary, it shows the secondary level that they would read less literature. That's not the case in the language arts. So, but the one thing we do try to do is have them read more nonfiction, that they are able to sort of have a synergy between literature and nonfiction text, and be able to respond to both and be effective readers, access that text so that they can go ahead and form ideas and begin some critical thinking based upon the text that they read.